Graffiti Jungle, Paulo Vu Lingue, Benvenuti nella Jungle di Graffiti. Questo è Impostore, Rockstar. It's the fake Rockstar chat show. Pensieri Tangentiali, formerly known as Tangential Thoughts Chat Show. We had 12 sessions on the podcast yesterday, leading into early morning. Sono to a capo, io sono Chief Gihareh, Julius Caesar, Augustus Gihareh. All right. We actually gonna let's see. What questions would you ask Kanye? What questions would you ask Kanye? Da 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 da. Da 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 da. You ain't got the answers. You ain't got the answers. Okay. Let's see. Copy. Let me put this here. So, the title of this live stream is called Interview Kanye Without Interviewing Kanye. Let me check this. Okay. All right. So the title of this live stream is Interview Kanye Without Interviewing Kanye. Now, the reason I'm going about this in such a way is because, one, it's the doing what you can with what you have type of thing, right? So, if you don't have access to, or you can't be able to get in contact with certain celebrities and things like that, then but you also want to be prepared, right? Sometimes you want to be prepared before you get to actually sit down, and you should do some research and all these types of things. But I'm just going about it my way. So now the other thing, and it's just one of those things to kind of say, right? So we've seen Kanye on Joe Rogan. Kanye on Joe Rogan, that was probably one of the most where you got to see Kanye talk at an extended length of time, cohesively, putting his thoughts and words together. Joe answering a question here and there, but it was it was an extensive interview, but Kanye was allowed to, give a lot of insight and go forth in that sense. Then you seen Kanye on the DJ Academics. DJ Academics, just as a joke, DJ Academics said 3 words. Kanye Kanye just said everything else. It was just Kanye just for lack of a better word, ranting and just raving and saying whatever he wants to say, right? Just saying whatever he wants to say. So from there, there's a couple of things. You're not sure, right? You're not sure if you were to sit down with Kanye. You're not sure which Kanye you would be interviewing. You're not sure how the interview is going to go. You're not even sure what Kanye will wear, right? There's a lot that goes in. If you're going to interview Kanye, you're not sure how any of this could go. So this is why me doing this like this, it gives me the chance to just ask all the questions I want to ask. And even though I don't get a necessary response at this time, I can still just ask them the questions I want to ask, and, control the pace of everything and see how things are going anyway. So, let me go ahead and do my intro one more time. And then I'm just going to talk freely, but then just ask certain questions and set certain things up. So, welcome to the graffiti jungle. Follow Palingue. Benvenuti nella giungla di graffiti. Questo è Impostore Rockstar. It's the fake Rockstar chat show. Pensieri Tangentiali, formerly known as Tangential Thoughts chat show. We had a couple sessions on the podcast for today. We had 12. That's why I say a couple. We had 12. Could have been 16 in a 24-hour span. 16 sessions. But other than that, it is a couple things. Sono to a capo io sono Chief Gihareh Julius Caesar Augustus. K. Rail Napoleon. So, the Yeezy website is pretty interesting right now. It's pretty interesting right now. One thing I just noticed that I actually like, I actually just noticed this, but I actually liked it. At the top, there's a figure. You can click there. It would assumingly be a silhouette of a man, and then there's a silhouette of a woman. There are shoes, and then the middle piece is a little confusing to me. Well, the third piece, it's a time, it's a clock. Now, if I click the clock, I'm trying to see, is there any type of, I'm not sure if it's as in the order these things were released, or by color. I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that time. All right. Either way, let's see here. As I'm looking at the website, my first question is going to be about, of course, the brand, Yeezy, the company itself. Right now I'm looking at the latest season. So, Season X or Season 10 was recently released, and one of the things that was just markedly different was the fact that, of course, understanding why, at a certain time, you were able to be a part of like fashion weeks and have the models do the runways and, preview certain pieces, but not getting that, and it's just a website now just with almost as if it was a shock drop, like, all right, stuff on the website, right? So, with that being said, what is the thought process behind these current pieces? Now, also the reason I also say with Season X is because recently there have been a couple more additions to the site. And so are these not a part of the Season X? Is it like another type of release? Or is it just like now we're just rolling certain things out? So I want to know like the thought process behind some of these. Now, of course, they're of the minimalistic vibe. There's not a lot of color. You know what I'm saying? There's black, there's white. Now, that's also interesting as well. So, and I'll make that as a thing too. So, usually, they're, again, like, if a new product was coming out for Yeezy, there would be a dark palette and a light palette. But the light palette would be more of like a tan or something like that. There's more white than usual. It would be more like of a more natural peachish, tannish type of color. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the white would come out, but it just seems that there's more white than usual. So, but I mean, that's how it usually goes. A dark option, a light option, and then the natural earth tones. So actually that's what's happening right now, that we see. A dark option, light option, and then a few natural earth tones. So one of my next questions would be like, because I see the minimalist vibe here, of course. But there was times when, like, just for example, the Yeezy Foam Runner got to MX, like the mixture colors, the MX cream clay, or those types of things. Also the red, red is usually a color that is a definitive color. So are we going to see any red pieces in this upcoming on Yeezy? And when are there going to be the pieces that starts to give like this MX, these mixture of colors? Now I do see a parka. I see a plain silverish gray parka, and I see a camo. Let's see the information on this. Information: a faux fur hooded parka, puff insulation padding, 2 side pockets. So that's the only one. That one markedly sticks out, and it's 100. Well, there's a black version of it as well. There's a black version of the parka as well. So that's the most colorful thing on the website right now. This camo parka. And of course that's nice for the the winter coming up. So what we got here? A PU puffer scuba jacket. A PU, not sure what that stands for. Puffer scuba jacket. Site's not working as far as like to scroll over for that. Scuba jacket. That's nice though. It's still on a minimalist vibe. Oh, so but my other question was basically saying like there's not a lot of like designs in a sense of palettes, colorways. So what are you looking are you looking to eventually add more of that, and what could be some pieces for us to anticipate that be like, okay, these are going to have like types of colors, or you know what I'm saying, or just more patterns? And so that's another question. Another question would be, so right now with the shoes, now okay, there's a lot of questions actually. With the shoes, they went into an entirely different direction. Like, and again, seeing shoes that came from Nike, seeing the shoes that came from Adidas, seeing the shoes, you know what I'm saying, this and the third. But now they're really, so one of the other questions would be, would you do, where is, in a perfect world, and with the brand being how you truly want it to be, would your shoes look more like, because basically I'm saying in comparison to the shoes that are on the website currently right now, I do want to say that the women's shoes, this HL01 and the HL02 and the HL03 for sure, right? The HL01, 02, and 03, those were like, they're interesting. They're interesting to see like a woman wear. And so then my question right now though would be, of course, and it's only from what we can see, but whether it's Nike or Adidas, and then what you have now, the shoes that you have now, which the shoe designs are closest to how you would like your shoes to look? Which shoe design is actually closest to how you actually want your shoes to look? Because again, I'm saying in a perfect world, in a perfect sense, like, and I'm just have to be honest, like right now, I know for sure this, like, the brand isn't as perfect as, or as close to where you want it to be. And I can sit here and say that because there's no way that you would, you're focusing on pricing and things like that, but one of the like known issues is the fact that everything comes across as a pre-order, and people might not get their stuff for 3 to 6 months, and that is just like poor customer service. That's just, it's like people are willing to wait for certain stuff, but that is like terrible customer service. Again, if you want Bezos can get something sent same day, and Bezos can have it the 2-day shipping. Like, these are promises and guarantees, but, and so that's why I say, like, I know for sure, like, if you knew how to have the distribution and the infrastructure, okay, fine, you could deliver at a certain time. But I also want to say, like, as far as these pieces, and so like me saying that is me saying that as far as these pieces go, I know they're not at peak where you would really truly want them to be. And they're, because again, like there's minimalist vibes, putting just two pieces of fabric together, and like that's cool sometimes, but not all the time. And um, what are the actual like pieces and how you would actually truly want them to be? Or is this, because right now some of this is of the, it seems as if, again, doing what you can with what you have, this is, you're able to like put together and have a lot of different things, yes, um but like I say, seeing how it started, like, and again with just the designs that you had with either Nike or Adidas, I just can't possibly think that this is how you would want all this stuff to be. Well, on the shoe side, for sure. uh not in the perfect world, how would certain things look and how would it be, because I think that's one of the things, like, designing it is one thing, and then having it as something else and being able to distribute it is another thing. So designing and manufacturing, I understand. So if designing and manufacturing were not, if designing and manufacturing were not limitations, and you could design and manufacture as however you wanted to and distribute, then how would the brand look? That's my, that took me a while to get there, but that would be my essential question. If you could manufacture the designs and you could have it shipped and sent in a actual reasonable time, that's assumingly guaranteed on some of these pieces, what would it look like? What would it look like then? So that's my questions right now as far as like the Yeezy brand. Those are my questions right now as far as like the Yeezy brand. My other question would kind of sort of pertain to what is sometimes people say things. And they may or may not know, the consequences of things that they say. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. So I would kind of want to know, of the things that you've said and done, what, hindsight is 2020. What is something that you said that you thought honestly might have a bigger impact and it didn't? And then what's something you said or done that ended up having a larger impact than you thought it would, than you anticipated? So I want to know some things like that. I recently looked up the stem player. And you have another version of that. So what's going on with that? Because I think the newer version, one of the limitations that it only comes with like what people want to be able to do is of more so the original idea is just you can put any song up there and alter it. So why wasn't the new one? And of course apparently there's a lot of different websites and other technologies out there that can do it. So it's just more so replicating that and putting it inside of a stem player. So why did you do that for the new one? Um, and then like with motivations that are coming, right? What again? I know the company is one thing. Music used to be a really solid focus. So, are you looking for another creative endeavor? Or which one are you just really solely focused in on at one time? Or is it just, being a father for as much as you can? And then, what are your days like now? What are your days like now? You know, on a day to day, or is it what are your weeks like? Which one has more consistency? Your days, your weeks, or your months? Is it like within a month you'll probably do certain things? I know day to day is probably different. That's just a different mentality and mindset that I would like to insight on. Are your weeks, or your months more consistent? Is it like, month to month, within a month I'm probably gonna do this or go here? Or is it your weeks? Because I would assume that your days aren't, you know, of the same. Like a lot of stuff can happen this day and not a lot this day, and I know there's a lot of fluctuation in that. So I would assume your weeks or your months. Which one's more consistent, and how does it usually go? If you had to say like which one's simpler to talk about, you know what I'm saying? So other than that, I would say I think one of my biggest things I would say I appreciate from you is the vulnerability that you have exposed either in music or in fashion. It doesn't matter. Like just the vulnerability that you know what I'm saying, allowed your life to be. So mm, I definitely appreciate that. I definitely appreciate that. I mean, and if there, it's just that there is one last question. It's just a little. Should have probably started with that just to get through that. I don't know. But the whole, yeah. Why did you put that in that song, and why did you release that song? Why I mean, not to say if it's true or not, but you know, with your cousin, why why'd you why'd you release that? Why'd you release that? Why'd you feel like you need to put that in the song and release that? That'd be one of them type of questions. Other than that, I do thank you for pushing the fashion, music, and entertainment industry forward.